Before we get into it, I have to let you know there is a sale at GamerSupps going on right now where you can use code BigFry to get 21% off your entire order all the way up until the 28th. Tubs of GG, cups, t-shirts, everything on the site is on sale. So click the link down below, use code BigFry, and save yourself some money. All right, so almost 2 years ago, I made a video about Due Process. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a PvP tactical FPS with retro pixel-style graphics where every single time you jump into the game, the map is procedurally generated, there's different nodes, and the map layout is always different every time you play. And I absolutely loved it back in the day, but I'll be honest, the developers at Giant Enemy Crab just kind of dropped the ball with content updates. There was a lot of things that were wrong about the game. You can appreciate the art, the gameplay, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, the more you play, the hit reg issues, the server issues, the desync, a lot of it was just kind of a pain in the ass. And the developers, in my opinion, let the thing die. Now, I put a video out 2 years ago saying that this game was going to be making a comeback. We saw the developers start to talk about huge updates coming to the game. They were getting really excited. They started hyping people up. And then, you know, nothing really came of that, which is a little bit interesting because I woke up the other day to a shit ton of messages across all my socials, from Instagram to Discord to emails. People are telling me, hey, Due Process is 94% off on Steam, making it like less than $1. And there's a huge update. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell is going on? The developers, and I use the term loosely here, they reached out to me via social media and they said, hey, I know you made a video on us on our comeback, but we're serious this time. The development has been handed over to volunteers and we're now working on this as a passion project. So the developers that were hyping up that update back in 2023, I don't think a lot of them are working on the game anymore. They've basically left the game in the hands of community developers and volunteers that have now dropped an insane update, including a bunch of balancing changes that needed to come to the game a long time ago, a bunch of map changes. They've added new maps. They've added a battle pass, a ton of cosmetics. They're hosting a charity tournament. They're doing events, and they're really just doing exactly what the developers needed to do. And on top of that, there is 100+ new maps in the pool for you to play, which is insane. And now the game, being less than $1, has brought the player base back. And I say brought it back, it's not crazy numbers, but considering 4 years ago was the game's all-time peak at 1,600, and in the last 24 hours we went from, you know, 0 players to over 1,000 is actually pretty insane. I've had a lot of people reach out. They wanted me to put this on your guys' radar. This is a game that I loved back in the day when you could tell the developers were passionate. You could tell they had a little bit of money behind them and they were actually putting in work. And then again, they just let the game die. And with that, all sort of coverage, nobody's talking about it. That being said, if there is a game that deserves a resurgence in the indie space, it's Due Process. So I would urge you guys, if you haven't picked this up, if you were waiting for a sale, because I'll be honest, the game in its current form is not worth $20. And this is something that I brought up to these new volunteers who now have access to the socials, who now have access to, you know, basically everything. I told them, like, maybe consider lowering that price and bringing people in. A lot of people are asking for it to be free to play. Look, I get people have to be paid. $20 for a game that is literally now being built on the backs of the community, that's a little bit crazy. I would consider dropping this to like a $4.99, maybe $5.99, and if you're gonna do the battle passes and stuff, maybe make those a solid price and actually see if you can revive this game for the long term. The sale is ending on March 5th. Again, I would strongly urge you guys to pick this up. For that price, it's a fucking absolute steal. And it just goes to show that there is a community of people waiting for updates to this game, waiting for the development to continue. The game was in early access. The developers, like, I'm pretty sure some of those developers are still remaining on as, like, you know, community volunteers or whatever. I don't know the structure anymore. I also could never imagine like owning a company, building a studio, and then handing off control to community volunteers, especially the socials. Like, you don't know what they're gonna post. Like, so I'm guessing some of the developers are still kind of retaining that control, but they're bringing in people from the outside to help like develop and bring this game to where it needs to be. It's unorthodox, but at the end of the day, as a consumer, a game that I considered completely dead is now getting massive updates, and there's a little bit of buzz being generated around it, which is actually pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think of this news. Due Process back from the dead for a second time now, only this time it's actually legit. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe for all FPS news, coverage, and opinion. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.